in the days after Kabul fell to the Taliban. One filmmaker gained extraordinary access to an alleged CIA base in the country. We'll speak to Ibrahim Nashat in a moment. Let's have a look at a clip from his documentary, Hollywood Gate.
With only my camera, I came to see in whose hands this country was left.
Well, I've got Ibrahim here with me in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program. First of all, just talk us through Hollywood Gate, what it is, what you saw in this base, and sort of what you discovered in those early days after the fall.
So officially and on paper, this base doesn't exist at all. It does exist in reality. It's inside Kabul Air Base in the military side, and it was a CIA base, but the CIA hasn't confirmed that, but it's being called by everybody a CIA base. And the door of that base has the word Hollywood Gate on it. And there were a lot of things left behind inside that base, and it was being used as the center of fixing weaponry that was left behind. So Taliban have used that base to fix weapons, fix airplanes, and I followed the Taliban for 1 year as they discovered the weapons left behind inside this base and outside it, tried to fix these weapons and their plans, what they plan to do with these weapons.
It's quite extraordinary, actually, because for 20 years, we had heard about these black sites, CIA black sites, these weapons bases, but of course it was all closed off to the outside world. Suddenly the Taliban take over, and then someone like you gets full access to a place and places that frankly didn't exist for 20 years.
It's quite bizarre considering the fact that the Taliban today are banning even themselves from being filmed. They have applied these rules that there's no more filming for themselves inside like Takhar and their other sides, and it's coming to Kabul definitely. And it becomes very rare to see such images of the base that you don't see it from the American side, and it's the base that Taliban are taking over it, and the clash of cultures of the Taliban taking over this base where you think they cannot do anything, but they could do things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember those early images of the Taliban suddenly discovering this state-of-the-art billions of dollars worth of equipment that the Americans, frankly, turned lights out in a lot of these bases, left behind, frankly, to the enemy.
And unfortunately, the dealing with that problem has been dealt with as if it's a partisan problem between the two parties that were running for presidency, and we haven't heard any of them talking about how can, in the US or outside the US, from the NATO countries, how we haven't heard anyone talking about Afghanistan and trying to find the solution. And I hope that the movie would try to bring the word again to look again towards Afghanistan and try to find a solution for the situation that the people in Afghanistan are facing, especially women today. I think the Taliban did not only inherit from the US, the weapons were left behind, but what they inherited the most was the propaganda tools that they are using. They understand politics, they are playing politics, and they are using all of the propaganda tools possible. They try to use this movie as a tool of propaganda, Hollywood Gate as a tool of propaganda for themselves. We've made a movie about propaganda to expose that, and I hope that the world would realize that the forever war mentality that was applied in Afghanistan in the first place was a mistake, and we had to find a solution for the Afghans, and hopefully this solution would not be to conduct another war, because the situation is getting every day worse and worse.